Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land and the internet land. Jeff Cross here with another edition of Changing the Face of Officiating. First things first, if you would like to make sure you go to YouTube, you can just search Jeff Cross. That's the name of my channel. Just search Jeff Cross, like I got to do, or some people search Jeff Cross Officiating. That way you can subscribe to that, and then you can get notifications every time I put something up. And again, if you have any questions, you can email me at jeffcross22@gmail.com. All right, without any further ado, I have with me Miss Becky Blank. Say hello, Becky.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. Becky is a coordinator for a Division III league, and then some other assigning also. And then she, well, tell us a little bit about I think you do some volleyball, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Becky.
Well, I've been officiating for over 25 years, not on the collegiate level, but I'm old-fashioned. I started at the grade school level and the high school and worked my way up to Division I women's basketball. I'm also a commissioner for a high school conference, which means I have 8 schools, and I make all the athletic schedules for all levels, and then I hire all the varsity officials for all the sports. And I also officiate Division III college volleyball and some high school volleyball. And I'm the supervisor of women's basketball officials for the WIAC, the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And I've been doing that for this, I believe this is my 8th year. I've been a commissioner for 17 years.
And you work Division I women's basketball. Did you forget to mention that? Yeah, okay. Becky and I have worked a few games together. It's great to work together.
Yes.
So, first of all, thanks for taking just 20, 30 minutes out of your day. I know you're busy and a lot of things going on, especially right in the middle of volleyball season. So we've established that you're an official, a coordinator for high school in multiple sports, correct? So from volleyball, football, whatever it is, you assign all
wrestling, gymnastics, all of them.
All of that, and plus a Division III coordinator. So, and been officiating for 20 plus years.
20 plus years on the collegiate level. I'll say 15.
Okay. All right. So one of the main questions I have for you is, for a person like yourself who has been involved in many different levels, from the high school to collegiate, and then assigning high school, assigning collegiate, and you've been doing that for over 20 years. Well, give me just a brief summary of what was it like 20 years ago when you first got into this? What is so much different 20 years ago than it is now?
When I first started officiating, number one, there weren't many females doing it. And number two, for me to get better, my husband would come to my games and he would actually videotape the games for me. And I would take the videotape and I'd go to a friend's house who's like a mentor, and we would look at, watch the game, my court positioning and my play calling and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I needed to do to get better. After my first year, though, then I went to a camp for that first summer, and then 2 years later I went to another camp. So that is still the same, going to camps and stuff like that. Now, personally, as in officiating, when I first started again, if we wanted to get a video of the game, we actually would have to take a disc with us and give it to somebody, or we'd have to mail it and give them a self-addressed stamped envelope to mail us back that, because if there were some plays we had to watch. And I think now, if an official is not watching every single, well, you probably don't have time to watch every single game that you work, but you need to be watching a lot of video of you officiating, of other people officiating, to get better, look at plays, think more of the game of basketball, because we really cannot, in this day and age, we cannot, with how much the game of basketball has evolved, we cannot be reacting to plays. We have to think the game of basketball and know, well, there's going to set a screen here, and these two girls are staying here like this, and what kind of screen it's going to be and all that kind of stuff. So I think technology has given us the opportunity to self-improve and to watch all the games and to just help us improve so much faster and easier than it was years ago.
Yeah, I can remember when I first started officiating, whether it was baseball. We didn't do a whole lot of video breakdown in baseball, but when I went into basketball, I would actually, it wasn't DVDs, it was a VCR, VHS,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we would bring that, and I would go to the post office on Monday and buy. If I had 4 games that week, I would buy
Bubble pack.
four brown whatever
Bubble packs. Yeah.
and I would put my address on there, and I would just give them to them.
Yep.
One of the things though that I've noticed that when I had to do that, I felt like it took a little bit of guts, a little bit of, because some people, younger officials, myself at that time, I didn't want to seem like I was insecure, so I wanted videotape. I really had to sell the fact that I was trying to get better, and I'm not for sure if younger officials quite have that. They didn't have to put themselves on a limb to say, hey, I just went out and bought a brand new VHS tape. Can you record it for me? Now they can go online and get it. So what do you think about the actual guts or the courage of a younger official in those kind of scenarios?
And personally, really, I think many officials that I have seen in the high school ranks and or the Division III ranks that I'm supervisor of, or those that want to work for me in the Division III, I think they want to move up faster than they're able to, meaning instant gratification. Oh, I've been, I'll get emails or something saying, oh, I've been, let's say on the high school level, oh, I've been working JV games for the last 3 years and I think I'm ready for varsity and stuff like that. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But, you got to put your time and effort into it for a while and, work your way up. And same as they want to get into the Division III college level. I've been working a varsity for 4 years now, and I think I'm ready to make it. Well, then they come to camps, and we're running a camp or we're a clinician at a camp, and they come and watch, or we go and they come to the camp, they work the games, we watch them, and we give them feedback. So I think that an official nowadays many times doesn't think it takes as long as it really does, or thinks they're better than they really are until someone tells them, hey, this is what you need to improve on, and hey, you're doing well, and maybe this is your next step, this is your next step. But I think that's a little bit, I think that has changed over the years, where I think right now, because there are so many opportunities for officials, that they think they will need to get there faster than what they really should.
Yeah. And it's some of it's the culture we live in, because we can't even stand in line for 3 people at the local grocery store, because that's just too long. What are we doing? I don't even want to go to the grocery store anymore. I just want to order it online and have it show up at my door.
That's right.
I actually heard something.
We're impatient people. We want gratification now.
It's interesting. I actually heard something over the weekend about how, we have Amazon Plus or Prime or whatever that is. And, they said it happens. We have to have results so fast that they put this Amazon Prime in it. So now it's only 1 click of the button. We can't even handle 3 clicks of the button. That's too long. I got to have it in 1. And it's interesting how we've adjusted our thought process that way.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part about it, I believe anyway, is officiating is not like that. You may want that, but officiating is still very much a learned process.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I can do 2 clicks of a button and answer an email, which means I'm available, or I can go to Arbiter Self-Assign and get my game, doesn't mean the only thing you've done is had instant gratifications of getting the game. Doesn't mean you can move that. You cannot accelerate that fast into being prepared for the next level of the game.
Right.
It moves faster that way, but it's the speed at which we excel in our game is about the same. Maybe a little bit faster because we have more technology as far as videos, and that's more accessible. But that's still at same speed as it was 20 years or 30 years ago. So, so we talked a little bit about that and how. So tell me, where do you think, as a coordinator and as an official, where's it going? Where do you predict that the technology, or how's officiating going to change in the next, because we see, if anybody's into baseball, there's a replay in baseball now, and football, there's a replay every other down. How do you think it's changing, or it might change?
I don't know if it's possible for it to happen in basketball, but I was talking to a Division I football official, and in Division I, they record each play from each position, and that official gets either all those plays or gets certain plays. Like if there's a question on a play, like why did you call that, or position-wise, you should have been in this position, that position, whatever. But in football, they get evaluated on every single play. Now, football doesn't have as many plays as basketball does. However, I can see technology that, we're already under this huge, microscope, or whatever you want to call it, that, we're on. Anybody can watch any game that they want. You could watch every single game I work. I can watch every single game you work, and everybody's watching us, including our supervisors. And I think that is only continue to be greater. I think that we're really going to be, we're held accountable for all our calls. Well, we're going to be under more pressure because of replay, because of getting videoed all the time or on TV and stuff like that. I think that we're just going to be held more and more accountable for our performance.
So as we say that, as officials, we're going to be held more accountable. Any insight you could give to, how do we get past that fear of, man, we're in this fishbowl, everybody's staring at us. Is there something that could help us get, even though that's going to happen to us at some point in some time, and even it happens to us even at a certain level right now, it can really get into people's psyche of, man, I don't want to mess up. So we play scared, or we referee scared, we mess up more. Is there, what do you think about that?
For me at least, once the ball goes up on the toss, I don't really think about the outside, that there's a replay monitor, or there's cameras on both ends and stuff like that. I think it goes hand in hand with an official's, an official gets more comfortable the more confidence they have in their play calling and in their own performance. What I mean by that is, officials always ask, God, I'm not very good at communicating with coaches. I always tell them, the more experience you get, the more you know the rules, the more confidence you will have in your calls, and the more confidence you'll have in quoting the rule book or using the rule book terminology to say, well, coach, by rule, da 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 da. Same with game. The more games you work, the more comfortable you are. The more games you work and the higher you go up, the more comfortable you are at working at that level. I don't think. I suppose the first game that you do on TV, you might be a little bit nervous, but after that, it's just another normal. Or even if it's not on TV, you're getting videoed every single game. It's just something you get used to. It's just something when you're comfortable doing high school games, then you got to do Division III games. When you were comfortable doing Division III and got good at that, then you worked up to Division II or Division I. I think it just comes with the more you do something, the more comfortable you are at it, and the more experience you have, and the more relaxed you are on, whether it's on camera or not.
Well, and I think, I'm pretty sure it was Vicki Davis that told me this one time. I think she's a driver's ed teacher, correct? Or, yeah. When you get a student behind the wheel, they're just not very comfortable, even though they're still watching rearview mirrors, checking mirrors, staying 6 feet behind, all that stuff. So they're doing all that stuff, but they're so, they're just not comfortable. They drive for 5, 6, 7 years. Well, they're still checking all their mirrors. They're still staying 6 foot behind. But they're way more comfortable doing it. And I think that just comes with getting repetition, getting some reps in. When you said at the very, very beginning, you started refereeing elementary or grade school or junior high games, we want to encourage younger officials to go out and get as many games as you can.
Oh yeah.
If you're
So that your mechanics become second nature to you. You shouldn't have to think about, is my arm straight up? Is my fist closed? Is my hand, whatever it is, that kind of stuff you cannot think about when you get to the higher levels at all. Even at a varsity basketball official in high school shouldn't have to think about mechanics at all.
That's right.
And there's stupid stuff that happens on the lower level games that it's not going to happen in the upper level.
Yeah.
But the more experience you have with stupid stuff going on and how you handle it, or how, like just like anything else, the longer you've worked at a job, the better you are at that job.
And if that crazy thing happens to you, if that crazy thing happens to you in a junior high game, and now you've awarded free throws that you weren't supposed to award, or whatever that is, and now you've experienced it, you've lived it.
Right. And crazy stuff happens to them at the Division I level.
Sure.
When something happens for the very first time, and I won't go through that whole story, but when something happens for the very first time and you screw up on that play, it's like, it'll never happen again. But it's also a learning experience for everybody. Like, I share it, or you should share mistakes that you've used with other officials so that they don't do the same mistake, or maybe they've also done that mistake and now we all learn from it.
I think that's a great point, Becky. If I make a mistake and you were not part of the game and I share that with you, all I've done is help you learn from my mistake.
That's right.
We need to take our
egos,
our egos out of it.
Yep.
Say, how can I help the game of officiating? Well, how I can help is I send it to somebody else and let them share it with your staff or whoever that is, whatever that ruling is, whatever that play is, because all we're doing is helping the next people that come in and that same play happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
we learn a lot by the mistakes we make and by the mistakes that our fellow officials make.
Yeah. So we talked about officiating. Let's talk a little bit about how the game as a coordinator is, how it was 20 years ago, and how is it changed, and where do you think it's going to be going as a coordinator?
Oh, wow. Well, at least on the Division III level. When I first started, there was not a shot clock. There was not, they're still on the Division III level. We're still not, there isn't, monitor review and all that kind of stuff, but even on the Division I level. But those are the biggest thing. The technology thing is a lot different. I think the athletes, because of AAU ball and club ball and all that kind of stuff, I think the athletes are much better than they were 20 years ago. I think more athletes are paying more attention to their health and, working out more, getting stronger, all that kind of stuff. But I think mostly the biggest thing on a game-wise is the technology with like the shot clock on the Division III level, and sooner or later we will have monitor review on the Division III level, but the schools really can't afford that at this time.
Yeah, but I think once they come up with the funding, however that is, I can't very well speak for Division.
They have it at the finals,
right? My guess is they want it. My guess is all Division III arenas would probably love to have replay. Right. You just can't quite figure out how to fix it into the budget, or find a lower budget version of replay. So I think that's most definitely coming without a doubt. Right. They even have replay, at least in Illinois, they have replay for the high school state finals.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's in the rule book, and they can only use it for, last second shots and things like that. It's pretty minimal, but it's still there because it's on TV and they're able to use it.
Right. And I don't know what it was a lot like before I became the supervisor at the D3 level. But I encourage my coaches, if they have a play or a call that they are questioning, hey, send me the clip.
Yeah.
Send me the clip and I can give you an instant answer on, yeah, that was right, no, that wasn't, and stuff like that. So I think that at least in my conference, I try to have that open door with my coaches that if they want answers like that, they can call me, email me, text me, whatever. But being able to send me plays, hey, I'm confused on this call or something, but that I can answer them.
Well, and another thing I've always said is, first of all, if you don't ask a question, you'll never know the answer.
Right.
So you can go off thinking, well, Becky's going to be mad that I'm asking this question, or I'll try and relate it to work. So if you're at work, you don't know if you can leave early until you ask if you can leave early.
Right.
Let the boss say yes or no, I can leave early.
Yeah.
So if a coach or an official or whatever it is has a question about a play, we're never going to know what the coordinator thinks until we send it to the coordinator.
Yeah.
And then that's how we find those things out. We get a little self-conscious. We're afraid that somebody's going to, oh, we messed up, whatever that is. And they're going, oh, Jeff doesn't know what he's doing, or Becky, you really can't believe they missed his play. But we still need to know where the coordinator stands on our boss, where they stand on certain plays. And, paperwork-wise, I'm guessing you probably have very little paperwork now as far as, it's all via the internet, correct?
Yeah, our contracting is through the internet, through Arbiter. And send plays, all that kind of stuff, just over the internet. The internet has been great with, instant answers, instant questions, instant video. It's awesome.
And there's my guess is most everybody has an email address or whatever it is. But this is one thing I just have to go mention, because I do have, not so much anymore, but I used to have some friends that would only use their work email address. They would use their work. That's the only email they had, whatever it is, at work.com or whatever it is. And so they wouldn't get an email until they went into work next day, or they wouldn't.
That bugs me. I'm on the internet all the time. I'm at my computer all the time, but that's how I live. Mm-hmm. That's how I work. Mm-hmm. So when people are like, oh, I didn't get your email, I didn't look at it, or they don't have a computer, so they go to the library. Yeah. I only look at it once a week. There's a D3 collegiate volleyball official that goes to the library to check his emails once a week. I'm like, you can't do that with me. You cannot. If you work for me, if I need officials and I need an answer now. I don't need an answer 3 days from now.
Yeah, I don't want to send it on Monday knowing you're not going to get to the library till Saturday.
I know.
Right? Yeah, that's not going to help me. I'm just going to pass you up. I'm going to go to the next person I know and get an answer from. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. It's funny that still happens to this day. Step number one, if you want to just be halfway current, get an email address.
We get our emails on our phones.
Yeah.
Technology right now, we can watch our game on our phones. We can have a friend. You can send me a clip from your play on your way home from a game, and I can see it on my way home from my game, and I can watch it on my phone. So,
right, before we even left the locker room, I can have that email could be on your phone.
That's right.
What you thought of that play in
that's right.
less time than it would for me to get in my car, drive to the library, log on, get my library card out, whatever that is. So awesome stuff. So Becky, our time's just about up here. I want to thank you once again for taking the time. You're a true help to all young officials, and the job that you've taken on with being a coordinator. I know that cannot be an easy job, and even now trying to work basketball still and working volleyball, and all those things happen for you at once. And your organizational skills got to be probably just short of perfect, where me, like I talked about, if it's not on the computer, I'm probably not going to have it. So I don't count on any piece of paper for me. So, and you took 30 minutes off for us, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. Again, follow Jeff Cross on YouTube, Jeff Cross Officiating. If you have any questions for me, you can email me those at jeffcross22@gmail.com. And if you have a question for Becky, you can email her at
beckyblank@hotmail.com.
Perfect. Absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Becky, and we will talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, Jeff.
All right.